All right, guys. Good evening. So good to be here with us again today on exclusive conversation with Gift Best, and I'm so glad that you could connect with us today from wherever you're connecting from. So thank you so much for joining today's stream and connecting from wherever you're connecting. So if you can hear my voice, you can see my face. Just let me know in the comments so I know you can see me right now. So if you guys, for those of you who came from the Telegram channel, thank you so much. Just you have the link already. Just share it with anyone who needs to be here right now because we're about to get it started. Okay. So today we are talking about maximizing the principle of the extra effect. All right, it's a special conversation that we are having today, how you can increase the results that you're having in your life, how you can use the extra principle, the extra mile principle to scale your progress, to scale the things that you're experiencing in your life, the success that you have, the success that you desire to have, how you can use the extra mile principle to scale it and be more productive, more effective in the result that you want to get. It could be at your job, it could be at your own personal endeavor, or it could be at your own personal thing, it could be at your job, whatever you're doing. Just a little application of the extra effect will give you an exponential result than the different from the result of the usual person. All right, so that's what we're going to be talking about today, how you can apply the principles of the extra effect. The extra effect. What is the extra effect? We're going to be talking about that in a moment, and then we're going to be talking about the basics about the principle of effect. The basics about the principles of the extra effect. What are the basics? What is really the extra effect? How has people apply these principles to get different results, effective results in their life, in different areas of their life? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So if you're listening to me, just connect this moment to if you're listening to me, just share the link. You have the link already. Just share the link with us. Let's get more people to join us in this conversation. So the first thing I really want to talk about is I want to explain this with the story of the two virgins in the script in the Bible. Jesus was making a parable. He was making a parable to his disciples and the people who were listening to him. And he started the parable by talking about a wedding that was taking place. And 10 virgins were invited to this wedding, right? The story is called the story of the 10 foolish virgins or the 10 wise virgins. So depending on the angle you're pulling it from. So, but he was talking about the story from the angle that there was a wedding and the 10 virgins were invited to that wedding, right? But something happened to them. 5 of those 10 virgins filled, all of them, 10 of them filled their lamp with oil. Right, they took oil, they filled their lamp because they needed to, it was a night wedding, they needed to be able to wait for the bridegroom, they needed to be able to see in the dark, so they had to put oil in their lamp. But something happened, 5 of those virgins went the extra mile, they took extra oil for their lamp, while 5 did not take extra oil for their lamp. So the 5 that took extra oil for the lamp, they were referred to as the wise virgins. While the other 5 who did not take extra oil for their lamp, they are referred to as the foolish virgins. So it didn't really make a difference if they had extra oil or if they didn't have extra oil until it was dark, right? The bride took time to come. He didn't come to the occasion at the time he was expected to come. So it took extra time. The oil that they had in their lamp got burnt out. Now it was time for them to maximize the extra oil that they had. So the guys the 5 virgins who didn't have extra oil, they didn't have anything to maximize. They didn't have any extra to add to their lamp to carry the carry them on for the night. While the other guys, they had extra oil that they could add to their lamp that would carry them on for the night. So at the end of the story, Jesus referred to the 5 who had extra oil as the 5 wise virgins. And he referred to the other guys as the 5 foolish virgins. So that is the angle we're taking this conversation from. One of the reasons a lot of people want a lot of things, right? A lot of people, they want good things. They want great success. They want significant results in their life. They want a lot of things to happen to them that will promote or project the life that they want to live. They want to experience good things. They want to live the best version of their lives. But not everybody who waits for these things get to experience it. Not everybody who wants good things to happen for them. Not everybody who wants to make more money. Not everybody who wants to find love. Not everybody who wants to get a better result at their endeavors get to finally get the things that they want. Because things don't come to you because you merely want them. No, things come to you because you apply the principles that bet the result. If everybody got everything they were wishing for, everybody would be rich. Everybody would be worthy. Everybody would have a lot of things. There would not be anyone suffering. There would not be people who are suffering from poverty. There would not be people who are suffering from hunger. There would not be people who are suffering all over the world. So people don't get things because they want it. People get things because they put principles in place that bet the result of the things that they desire. So the difference between the people who are in need of extra experiences in their life, the difference between the people who are converting greater results, the difference between the people who want to experience greater exploit, the people who want to experience increase in their finances, the people who want to experience better relationship with people, the difference between the people who have that and the people who don't have that is the things that they put in place in their life. The difference most times is the ability to go the extra mile, to put the figures, to put the things, the principles, to put the engines that would actually bet the result that they want in place. So you must understand that, first of all, that people don't get things because they want it. Right? The 10 virgins, the 5 foolish virgins, they didn't get to spend the night even though they wanted to be there, but they had to go get the extra oil because at the time that they were supposed to apply that principle in their life of getting the extra oil, they did not apply that principle. So they had to go into the town, and before they could come back, it was already too late. So you have to understand that every opportunity you get to do something, every opportunity you get in your life every single day is another opportunity to add the little extra effort that gives you the result that you desire in your life. Because people don't just get things because they merely want it. Alright, so that's the first thing I really want to establish in today's class. Now, I want to point out 2 things that you must note in today's class. Number 1 is the things you want are out there. It doesn't matter what you want in life. It doesn't matter how much you want to earn. It doesn't matter who you want to meet in life. It doesn't matter what result you want to get. It doesn't matter what kind of life you want to live. The things that will make the things you want possible are out there. There are different dimensions. There are different people who have the resources that you're desiring. There are different occasions that have the right network that you're desiring. There are different circumstances that can happen to you and change the trajectory of your life and give you the results that you're desiring. But those things will not always fall on your lap. The things you're desiring, the better life you're desiring, the greater relationship with people, the love you're desiring, the greater financial experiences you're desiring, the things that you want, they will not always fall on your lap. Good things happen to people while they are at their comfort, but the things that will actually change your life most times will not happen to you on your comfort zone. They will not fall on your lap. You have to go out there to get them, because the things that will change your life will require extra effort for them to actually happen in your life. Guys, are you here? So that's the first thing I really want to establish today. The money you want are in the hand of strangers. The things you want to experience better expressions of yourself, they are out there. They are with someone. They are in an occasion. They are in an event you've not attended. They are in a conversation that you're not having. They are in a class that you're not attending. They are in a webinar that you're not attending. They are just out there. But you have to take the actions that will actually connect you from where you are to the resources, that will connect you from where you are to the circumstances, that will connect you from where you are to the event that will actually prompt the result that you're desiring in your life. You have to go the extra mile to experience the things that you want to experience in your life, because the things you want to experience will not always come to you at your comfort zone. The greater finances you want will not come to you at your comfort zone. The greater relationship that you are. You know, a lot of people, they want to meet new people. They want to get in a relationship. They want to experience love. But they are in there in their closet. They refuse to go out. They refuse to meet people. They refuse to connect with people. They refuse to network with people. And then they're expecting greater exposure of what they are doing. You have to understand that the things that will change your life will not always fall on your laps. They will not always come to meet you where you are. You have to get out there into the world to get it. So that simply means you have to apply the extra effect to experience the result that you want in your life. The visibility you're looking for are in things you don't want to do. Most of the times, the reason people don't get the result that they are desiring is because the things that will actually make them to get the result that they want is wrapped up in the things that they've refused to do. You want to stay fit, and you staying fit, the possibility of you staying fit lies in you going to the gym. But you don't want to go to the gym, but you want to stay fit. So most of the time, the reason you're not getting the result you want to get, the reason you're not experiencing the things you want to experience in your life is because the things that will make you experience the things you want to experience are wrapped up in the things that you don't want to do. They're wrapped up in the things that will make you feel uncomfortable. They're wrapped up in things that will push you out of your comfort zone. They're wrapped up in the things that you are so reluctant to do. So in order for you to experience those results, you must get out of your comfort zone. You must do those things that seems difficult, that seems to push you out to the extra, using your extra abilities, that seems to push you out of the normal comfort that you are experiencing. You want to get more financial freedom. There are things that you need to put in place to experience that. So the difference between the people who are experiencing the result that you want and the people who are not experiencing those results is in the things that they are doing. The people who take out the time to go out there to put in the work that needs to be done to get the result that they want to get. So you must understand that the publicity you're looking for are in the networks that you are avoiding. The publicity that you're looking for, the visibility you're looking for your product, the publicity you're looking for your influence, the publicity you're looking for your message, the things that you want to communicate to people is in the network that you're reluctant to build. So you have to get out there, out of your comfort, and build the networks to get the publicity that you're looking for. The visibility for your business, it's out there in the networks that you're reluctant to build. There are events happening all around you, but you don't want to get out to those events to actually create the network that will give you the visibility that you're looking for. The things you're looking for are actually end products. They are fruits. The things you're looking for, the financial freedom you're looking for, they are fruits, but you have to plant the seed. You have to go out of your way and plant the seed that will bear the results that you want. To get the things you want, you have to go for them. Most people, the reason they don't experience the things they want to experience in their life is because they are waiting for those things to fall on their laps. They're waiting for those things that they want to get to come and meet them right where they are. They're waiting for that money to come and meet them. They're waiting for that helper to come and meet them. They're waiting for that connection to come and meet them. They're waiting for that network to come and meet them. But they don't understand that the things you're looking for are out there. You have to go and meet them. You have to go and get them. So that is the difference. That's the first thing you must understand in The people who go the extra mile will always maintain an advantage. The people who go the extra mile in their finances, the people who go the extra mile in their relationships, the people who go the extra mile in their careers, the people who go the extra mile in their profession, the people who go the extra mile in their niche, in whatever area of life they are venturing into, will always maintain the advantage over the people who do not take out the time to go the extra mile, who do not take out the time to put in the extra effort, who do not take out the time to apply the extra effect in their lives. They will always maintain the advantage. So the only way you can have an edge over every other single person, there are millions of people who are doing the things that you're doing. There are millions of people who are doing the things that you want to do. There are millions of people who want to venture into that niche, into that profession, into that market that you want to venture into. But the things that will set you apart from every other person in that industry, the things that will set you apart from every other person in that niche is the extra mile, is the extra effect that you are applying into that niche. Everybody, there are millions of people who are into the media industry. There are millions of people who are into the business in the industry. There are millions of people who are creating values. There are millions of people who are creating products, who are creating softwares, who are creating online courses, who are creating webinars, who are creating online classes. But the single factor that will differentiate you from every other person who are into that industry is the extra effect that you're adding to it. That single thing. We can have the same recipe. We can try to make the same cake. We can try to make the same food. But the only thing that will differentiate my cake from your cake is a special recipe that I decide to apply to my meal. It's a special recipe that I decide to apply to my cake. Most people, they want to stand out. They want to make a difference. You don't make a difference in life by playing the same game every other person is playing. You don't make a difference. You don't stand out by playing in the same industry, the same way every other person is playing it. You stand out by adding a little extra effort. You stand out by adding a little extra creativity. You stand out by adding just a little extra thing that makes you different from every other person in that industry. You must understand that. That for you to stand out, you must be willing to do what every other person is not willing to do. You must be willing to apply the extra effect. You must be willing to apply the principle of the extra effect. Whether in sport, whether in your career, whether in business. Whatever sphere of influence you choose to venture into, the single factor that will make you to stand out is being able, paying the sacrifice, being able to apply the extra effort that nobody is applying. So you must understand that talent will not always be enough for where you're going to. Talent will not always be enough for the industry that you are venturing into. There are a lot of people who are so talented in sport. There are a lot of people who are so talented in the media industry. There are a lot of people who are so talented in creativity. A lot of people who are so talented all over the world. In the movie industry, a lot of people who can face the camera and shoot an amazing movie. But the thing that makes you stand out is the difference factor, is the extra effect principle. The extra effect factor makes you stand out. That extra thing that you're doing that nobody is doing. It could be in your voice. It could be in your creativity. It could be in the way you dress. It could be in the way you talk. It could be in the way you look at people. It could be the special attention that you pay to details. It could be the things that you do that creates the difference from the way every other person is doing it. But that extra effect is what will distinguish you from the millions of people who are doing the same thing that you're doing. Online marketing, it could be that. It could be digital marketing, whatever you're doing. You just need that extra effort to make a difference in the things that you're doing. So that's what you must understand, that the principle of the extra effort will always make you stand out in a room full of talented people, because talent is never enough. Talent is never enough. Talent will give you the stage, but it takes doing the extra thing to be able to maximize the stage. For Joseph, his ability to interpret dreams brought him before Pharaoh. His ability to interpret dreams gave him the platform that he needed to get on. But the moment you get on the platform, there are a lot of people who have the same talent that you have that are on that platform. There are a lot of people who are as much as talented as you are that are on that platform. But the single thing that will make you to maximize every platform that you stand on is your ability to add just a little extra to your talent. It's your ability to apply the principle of the extra effect to the talent that you have. It becomes the extra oil that you add to your lamp. It becomes the extra oil that you carry to the event. It becomes the extra tool that you carry to the platform. It becomes the extra oil that you take to the event. So you must understand that the principle of the extra effect will, number one, will always make you stand out in a room filled of talented people. The extra effect will make you stand out in a room filled of talented people. So we're going to be looking at the basis of the extra effect. Remember we're talking about how you can maximize the principle of the extra effect. So number one, we're going to be talking about the basics of the extra effect. What are the bases of the extra effect? Number one, rendering more and better service than you are paid for will always reward you with abundant service. Rendering more than you were paid for, rendering more service than you were paid for, doing more than you were paid for will always bring abundant result for you, abundant reward for you than you signed up for. It's okay, everybody wants to do what is required of them. You're required to carry three bags of rice. You're required to create 2 softwares. You're required to resume work at your workplace at 8 o'clock. You're required to do this. You're required to do that. But doing that is not just enough. Doing an extra of what you're required to do, offering more service than you are paid to do, will always bring an abundant result for you, will always bring an abundant reward for you. Doing just a little extra more than you're paid for. A client pays you for a particular service. You go the extra mile of researching for their service, offering them better service than they requested for, will always give you an abundant result. That is the basics of the extra effect. You must understand that. The moment you understand that, it changes the way you relate with the client that you have. It changes the amount of clients that you were able to attract. It changes the amount of clients that you were able to retain. Because when you understand that rendering more service than you were paid for will always bring back abundant rewards for you, it creates a consciousness in you that makes you want to offer more excellent service than you were paid for, which in turn will bring a reward for you that is greater than that of every other person who is just offering the service that is required of them. You have to always, in wherever area of life you find yourself, at your workplace, in your skill, to your client, you have to always apply, you have to always give more than is required of you. It will give you the advantage. Going the extra mile will give you the advantage over every other person who is doing the same thing that you're doing. A lot of people, they get into the room, they get into the dinner, they get into various events, they get into various platforms because of their talent, because they were recommended, because someone said they were good, because someone said they could do the job, because someone said that they were up for the task, because someone just saw them and liked them because of the way they looked, because they had the talent. So that will get you into the room. But for you to be able to stay in the room. Now, I was trying to mention about Joseph. Joseph interpreted the dream for the butler and the cupbearer in the prison. He interpreted their dream. That was his talent. He had the ability to interpret dreams. So that singular talent of interpreting dreams got him to have an audience with Pharaoh. But it was not the ability, listen, it was not the ability to interpret dreams that made Joseph the prime minister of Egypt. It was not the ability to interpret dreams that made Joseph the prime minister of Egypt. The ability to interpret dreams merely brought Joseph to have an audience with Pharaoh. It brought him into the palace of Pharaoh. It gave him the opportunity to stand before the king and show what he could do. But I'll show you what is the thing that made Joseph to be able to become the prime minister of Egypt. Look at it. The Bible says that Joseph was brought before Pharaoh, and he was able to interpret the dreams that there was going to be 7 years of abundant harvest, and then there was going to be 7 years of scarcity. So this is what he said. He said, for Pharaoh to be able to walk through the 7 years of adversity, the 7 years of famine, he should be able to gather from that 7 years of abundance and store up so much harvest and store up so much resources that will be used in the 7 years of scarcity. That was an idea. That was an extra idea. Joseph was called to come and interpret dreams, but he went the extra mile of proffering a solution to the problem of the dream that he has interpreted. That was the extra mile. That was the extra effect that got Joseph to becoming the prime minister of Egypt. It was not merely interpreting dreams. So it could be you could have a relationship with, all right, just let me take a sip of water. So you could have a relationship with a client who have the capacity of changing your life. But merely having the relationship with the client, merely doing the job with the client, will not prompt the client to actually take the extra favor on you that will actually maybe recommend you to a higher paying client or something. That will not make the client, doing the job will not make the client recommend you, will not just make the client recommend you to other people. Imagine if a client pays you $10 to do a graphics for them, or he pays you $1,000 to create a software for them, and then you create a software for them, and then you go the extra mile of doing a market survey for them, telling them the kind of people that they should sell the software to, the kind of platform that they can sell the software to, and different ways that they could position their brand to actually sell to more people. You do the extra research for them, like Joseph. Joseph stood before Pharaoh, he interpreted the dream, he gave Pharaoh the extra strategy that he could use to solve his problem. The moment you do that, you are positioning yourself to experience better reward for the service that you're being paid for. You are positioning yourself, because the moment you offer more than you are paid to offer, you position yourself for a more abundant reward system. You create a system of reward that is greater than the service that you signed up for. So that is the first thing you must understand. The basics of the extra effect is being able to render, being able to offer more service than you were paid for. That is the basis. That is the number one. Number two, the applying the extra effect is not just a principle that you can apply every time. It has to become a mindset. Going the extra mile, doing the extra thing that is required of you, should become a mindset that you cultivate. It should not just become a principle that you apply when you need to get extra result. It should not just be a principle that you would apply when you need to get a reward system in place for your work. It should be a mindset that prompts you, because the moment it becomes part of you, it automatically influences the way that you carry out your responsibility at your workplace, the way you relate with the people that you relate with, the way you relate with the people that you work with. It must become a mindset. It must move from being a principle to becoming part of your mindset. It must become who you are. It must not just be a principle that you apply. That is the number two basic. Number one basic is you must understand that rendering more service than you're paid for will create an abundant reward system for you greater than you signed up for. Number two, you must understand that applying the extra effect principle must not just be a principle that you apply, you turn on and turn off. It must be a part of your system. It must be a part of your mindset. It must be a part of your perspective. It must be one of the governing principles on how you execute your responsibilities. So the moment it becomes that, it automatically, even when you don't want to apply it, it automatically becomes part of you. It's like excellence. For some people, excellence is not just something that they do to get better results. Excellence is not just something they do to get a clap from people. Excellence has become a part of their system. There's virtually nothing they do for people without applying excellence to it. Whether you're paying them a lot for it or you're paying them less for it, whether they are doing it free for you or you are paying them a lot to do that job, some people, excellence has become part of their mindset. If it is not excellent, they are not even doing the job. That is the same way the extra effort must become part of who you are. It must become part of who you are. Thank you so much, Victor. I can see your comment in the comment section. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Allow me. I can see your comment in the comment section. Thank you so much, guys. We have a couple of people out here today for this class. Thank you so much for coming out. So I just stated the two basics of the extra effort. Number one, you must render more than you've been paid for in order to create a reward system that is greater than you signed up for. Number two, applying the principle of the extra effort must not just be a principle that you turn on and turn off. It must become part of your mindset. It must become part of who you are. Now, we're going to be looking at 6 results of applying the extra effort. 6 ways that the extra effort can reward you. Now, listen, the reason we're talking about this is if you started off the conversation with us, I talked about the 5 wise virgins and the 5 foolish virgins that went with extra oil. Right? The reason we're talking about this is because the thing that distinguishes the people who actually get result and the people who actually get extraordinary result is the extra in the ordinary. Anybody could get results, right? Anybody could apply the principle of sowing, they would reap. Anybody can apply the principle of the 10,000 work hour, and they will get the result. But it takes the extra effect to get extraordinary result that distinguishes you from the crowd. So that's why we're talking about this. So now we're going to be talking about the 6 results of applying the principle of the extra effect. What are the 6 things that will happen to you? I have more of them here, but because of our time, I'm just going to be talking about 6 results of applying the extra effort. What are the 6 things that will happen to you, or the 6 benefits? Number 1, the things you give will come back to you in multiplied fold. There's a scripture that says, except a wheat of a corn falls to the ground, it abides alone. Right? What does that mean? When you have a grain of sand, when you have a grain of corn, that is just a grain of corn. But the moment you plant that corn, the corn is able to grow out and bring out more more corn, right? So except the width of a corn, the moment you apply that extra effect, it creates a system, it causes a ripple effect that creates a system that multiplies the result that you're supposed to get. Just by merely applying an extra effort, an extra responsibility, an extra commitment to that thing, to the things you're supposed to do, it creates a multiplied result that comes back to you. So the things you give will always come back to you in multiplied fold. There's this scripture that I like. It's the scripture that says that when you sow, you shall reap, right? You know, one amazing thing about that scripture is it doesn't say that when you sow, you are going to reap where you sow. It doesn't say that when you sow, you are going to reap the moment you sow. But it says that the moment you sow, you are going to reap. And the amazing thing about it is you don't reap in the same measure that you sow, right? You don't reap in the same. Sometimes you don't reap the same thing that you sow. Sometimes what you sow could be, you could sow volunteering into people's life. You could sow maybe money into people's life. You may not receive it back in the form of money. You may not receive it back in the form of people volunteering for you, but you will always receive the things that you sow in greater measures. You know, the scripture, it says that give and it shall be given to you, pressed down, shaken together, men will give to you. So number 1 thing applying the principle of the extra effort will do for you is that it will make you get more than you sow. It will make you get more than you sow. The things you give will come back to you in multiplied measure. Number 2 is the law of compensation will be activated. The moment you apply the extra effect, you are indirectly activating the law of compensation. What is the law of compensation? That everything you do will bring you some sort of result of the same kind. What is the law of compensation? The law of compensation says that everything you do will bring back to you that similar result. Everything you do will bring back, whether it's positive things, whether it's negative things, but everything, the law of compensation states that everything that you do will bring back to you that same thing in similar fold. The law of compensation, that everything you do will bring you some sort of result of the same kind. So you must understand that when you add the extra, when you go the extra mile to add an extra juice to people's job, when you go the extra mile to just do a little more than you've been paid for, when you go the extra mile to just do something a little greater than you've been paid for, it will always activate the law of compensation in your life. It will always bring back the same result that the same extra effect that you apply. That's number 1. Number 2 is you gain favorable attention the moment you apply the extra effect. The principle of the extra effect, the moment you apply it, you gain extra attention. Gaining the extra attention makes you, you generate attention by doing the extra. For instance, let's say you were 5 people that were bidding for a job, right? 5 people bidding for the same job in the same company. You have your quotation, the other person have their quotation. Most times, let's say your quotation is within the same range. So what is the thing that distinguishes you from the other people who are bidding for that job? Just the extra. Just the extra. Maybe you did a little bit extra analysis of the company. Maybe you did a little bit extra analysis of the result of what the project will bring. Just the extra will distinguish you from the crowd. It will make you gain more attention than every other person who is bidding for that same job that you're bidding for. You must understand that the extra will always make you gain greater attention. So you must understand that number 1 thing applying the principle of the extra effect will do for you is, number 1, it will bring back the things you give in multiplied fold for you. Number 2, it will activate the law of compensation in your life. Number 3, it will give you favorable attention in a room full of people. It will give you extra attention. Number 4 is applying the extra principle makes you indispensable to people. Applying the extra effect makes you indispensable to people. People don't want to let go of the person who goes the extra mile to get the job done for them. People don't want to let go of the person who adds just a little bit extra creativity to the job. Right? So you must understand that becoming indispensable is a function of you going the extra mile. Look at Daniel. The Bible says that Daniel was able to serve in the reign of 3 kings in Babylon. What was the reason that Daniel, was it just because Daniel was smarter than every other person? No, it wasn't because Daniel was smarter than every other person. Daniel was a person who was always applying the principle of the extra effect in whatever he do. Maybe he's counseling the king. Maybe he's giving an interpretation. He always applies the principle of the extra effect. Joseph, the same thing. So you must understand that for you to become indispensable in the life of your client, for you to become indispensable in the life of the people that you service, for you to become indispensable to other people, you must always apply the principle of the extra effect. What does it mean? You must go the extra mile to get the job done. It makes you indispensable. So you must understand that going the extra mile makes you indispensable to others because you are doing what no one is doing for them. Going the extra mile makes you indispensable to people because you are doing for them what no other person is willing or is currently doing for them. So it makes you always valued. It makes you always relevant. So going the extra mile in it could be maybe you are hosting a webinar, maybe you are hosting a class, or maybe you are doing a job for someone. Going the extra mile will always make you indispensable in every field. Going the extra mile will always make you indispensable to other people because you are doing for them what no other person is doing for them. You must learn that. That's number 4. Number 5 is going the extra mile creates a personal self-improvement for you. When you go the extra mile, you strengthen your ability to do your job. I have seen this work over and over again in my life. For instance, I have a client who wants a job to be done in a particular way. I make further research. I recommend greater, better ways for that job to be done. That in itself does not just make the client to have a favorable disposition to me. It creates a form of personal improvement to my skill. It creates a form of personal improvement to my job. The moment you go the extra mile to get your job done, you learn an extra skill, you learn an extra thing on the job. So you must understand that going the extra mile creates a form of personal improvement in your job for you, in your skill. Most time when you're given a job, let's say you're given the responsibility of creating a website, you go the extra mile of doing a lot of stuff to make it more effective, to make it more attractive, to make it more reaching. When you do that, you don't just make the client happy, you create a form of personal development to your skill. So you must understand that. Number 6, going the extra mile creates greater opportunities for you. When you are in a room where there are 1,000 people who can do what you can do, the only thing that distinguishes you from every other person is your ability to add extra creativity, your ability to go the extra mile in the things that you do. It must become part of who you are. It must become part of the way you handle your responsibility. It must become part of the way you execute your job. Even at your workplace, even as an employer, an employer of labor, it must be part of who you are. Whatever industry you are employed, going the extra mile must become a part of your mindset. Always. Carrying out your responsibility. One of the reasons people are not able to progress from one level to another is because they are looking at the way every other person is doing it and they want to do it exactly the way every other person is doing it. You must understand that in order for you to stand out, you must do the job better than every other person is doing it. Sometimes you don't even have to be more skilled than those people. You don't even have to be the most skilled person. Just add a little extra to what every other person is doing. What makes extraordinary? Just the extra in the ordinary. Your job, you could be doing the same ordinary thing every other person is doing. But the moment you add extra to it, your ordinary effort becomes an extraordinary effort. And it gives greater result and it creates greater opportunities for you. You don't want to stand in a room where there are 1,000 talented people as yourself, and then you are asking yourself, okay, what am I going to do to make myself different? No, it must become, going the extra mile must become a mindset that influences the way you execute your job, that influences the way that you carry out your responsibility in whatever area of life that you see yourself. You don't have to do what every other person is doing. Just add a little bit extra creativity. Extra, just a little bit extra. The extra will always make you stand out in a room full of talented people. All right. So we've talked about the things that you need to know about the extra effect. We said that rendering more and better service than you were paid for will always create an abundant reward system for you. Right? And we said that you must learn to apply the extra effect as a mindset, not just a principle that you turn on and turn off. It must become part of who you are. It must become part of who you are. So that's one thing that you must focus on as you begin to scale your life, as you begin to take your skill from one level to another. And then we talked about the benefit of the extra effort. What are the benefits of the principle of the extra effort? Number 1 is the things you give will always come back to you in a multiplied fold. If you're giving negative things, you're going to receive extra negative things. The things that you give will always come back to you in a multiplied fold. I love the analogy Jesus made. He said, when someone asks you to carry their load 1 mile, carry the load 2 miles. When someone asks for your coat, pull on your inner wear and give it to them. Why? Because doing the extra will always create a favorable disposition for you. It will always make you stand out. So I don't care. It doesn't matter where you're listening to me from right this moment. One thing I want you to do right now is look at the area of life where you are influencing. Look at your sphere of influence. Look at your niche. Look at the area of life where the skill that you have, the business you are into. Look at it. What are the things that you're doing? What are the things every other person is doing in that industry? How can you just add a little extra to make it different from what every other person is doing? That, most people, they are looking for that single thing that will change their life. Most time, that single thing that will change your life will not always come as a new thing. It will always come by you adding a little bit extra to the things that you used to do before. All right. So that's that for that. So we talked about number 2. We said the law of compensation, that you will always receive in the same kind whatever you give. It's a universal law of compensation. You must understand that it is the universal law of compensation is activated by the extra effect, by the principle of the extra effect. The universal law of compensation is activated by that, and you gain favorable attention when you apply the principle of the extra effect. Most people, they just look at themselves and say, why is it that nobody likes me? Why is it that I just do a job for a client, the client never is always complaining? Maybe the reason your client is always complaining that your job is not good is because you're not adding the extra to your job. The moment you begin to add the extra, you will notice a significant change in the way people respond to you. You see more people giving you better attention. You see more people having a favorable disposition to you because the extra will always make you stand out. So the extra will always give you favorable attention. You generate attention by doing the extra. Now, number 4, we said becoming indispensable. Now, it is very important for every creator. Now, if you're listening to me and you're a creator, I want you to listen to this. It is very important that you become indispensable to your client. It doesn't mean you have to always have the solution, right? But you must create a spot in the heart of your client that they will always think about you when they think about the problems that you can solve. You must create an alter ego where in the heart of your client that makes it look as if you are indispensable. How do you do this? By going the extra mile. By going the extra mile. It makes you indispensable to other people. Number 5, when you go the extra mile, it creates a personal self-development and self-improvement in your skill, in your job, in whatever you're doing. All right. Number 6, it creates greater opportunities for you when you go the extra mile. Remember, except a wheat of corn falls to the ground, it abides alone. When you tend to gain multiple results, when you tend to get greater results in your life, when you tend to venture into new dimensions of the sales you're making, the results you just do the little extra, and you will get the extraordinary result that you're looking for. So that's that. Well, we're going to be rounding it up for today. I have a couple of other points, but I just want to stick with the 1 hour time frame that we have. So I don't know if you're listening to me. Just had a comment in the comment section. Let me know you're listening. And I'd like to take questions. If you have any questions, I'd like to take those questions. I'd like to take questions. All right. Let me see who is here. Who is here? All right. I'd like to take a little bit questions before we. Now, don't forget to just click the subscribe button if you're listening. Just subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that whenever we go live, you will be part of the conversation. So I want to thank you so much for coming out tonight. It's been an amazing moment, and I'm so glad that you could come out for tonight's class. So thank you guys so much for coming out. I'm so glad you could make it. Let's do this again. So remember that we have this every Thursday by 9 p.m. here on the YouTube channel, which is why you need to click the subscribe button. Every night, every 9 p.m. every Thursday, 9 p.m. every Thursday, we have this meeting here on different conversation, different topics, talking about it. So you can be part of our Telegram channel. At Ask Gift Best JNR. Just click it, and then or you can just turn on notification on the YouTube channel. But don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. So thank you so much, guys, for coming out tonight. I'm so glad